And welcome everyone. John the Net Guy. We'll give it a few seconds here for all of the digital bits to get connected properly. Thanks for joining. It is going to be a great show. This is show number 505 or 505. Fifth season, fifth show. I didn't have a show last week. I feel real bad about it, but we got the flu through the house, that 2-week flu bug. I thought I was doing better, and I just crashed out that Sunday in between. You guys heard me get through a show with my bad voice, but my voice is back, and thank goodness it is, because today is a show all about sound, audio, and headsets. I got a bunch of really cool headsets to check out here that won't break the bank. All of them are under $40. Now, some would be good for business, some might be good for gaming, for the kids. I have expensive headsets, and sometimes the audio sounds better on these little wired ones. But we'll take a look at the chat here, see if our usual suspects show up. Yes, they did. They said, "Let the show begin, Blind Tech." Thank you so much. BC knows the story here. Audio and video are good, which is great. That's what we want. I've got a lot of really cool audio to show you. Sup, John? How are you? Blind Tech checks in. He's a YouTube creator, also a tech tuber. So check him out if you haven't already. I'm doing good, John. It's been a week. Let's put it that way. We got a lot of stuff going on in the family. People are happy and healthy, thank goodness. Let's hope that continues throughout 2025. I'm a little bit late to the show today, so I'm going to make sure that we're going, and then I'm going to get us kicked off with our first product. I don't want to take you forever with these, but let me get back behind me here and make sure that our stream is going, which it looks like it is. And then we are going to start our stream. And if everything goes well, it will turn this little button red, which means it's streaming. So we're going to wait 2-3 seconds for that to come. And if it does, then I can hit go. There it is. I'll hit go live. Here we go. We're going to be live on Amazon in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, Amazonians. John the Net Guy here. And I'm not going to have my side camera today, it looks like. It is decided to just flip out. I'm like hitting, I can show you what it's doing right now because you guys may like to see this. It's decided to just do that. So we can power it off. I powered it off and on a couple times. Hopefully it comes back to join us here. This is what happens when you got to do like live tech support on your own show here. So I'm going to unplug the external. We'll try to fire it up here because you're actually helping me make content. We do cool, fun stuff on the show, and that turns into YouTube and Amazon content. If you do purchase on the show, thank you. One, it does give me a single-digit tiny commission, which I am also thankful for. It helps provide the lights, the cameras, and a little bit of the action around here. Let's see if this camera has decided to play nice and come back. So far, so good. Maybe it just needed like the 7th reboot. Maybe that's what it was. So here's what that camera shows. That's my side cam. I like using that so that, oh, there we go. Okay, good. It's going to play nice today. So I can show you up close and personal what some of these look like. Let me plug the power into it so it doesn't die on us, and I'll put it back over here. Perfect. The first product up, I'm going to go ahead and tap it here on the carousel, is a product of necessity. I picked these up because I was on my way to the boat. I was working from my boat last year, and I realized I forgot my headset for my work computer. So I stopped in and grabbed these Turtle Beach. I'll show it up on the up-close camera here. This is a set of analog headphones that you can use. So this Turtle Beach Recon 50X. Now you can use it with, let's take a quick look just to be sure, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Nintendo Switch, and mobile, assuming you have a 3.5mm jack. Now, why do I say that? Well, inside here is a completely analog, I know, it's 2025, headset, which has a boom mic and an analog 3.5mm jack. Sometimes this is what you need to get by. You don't want to rely on USB, CPU cycles that needs. This does also have an analog volume control, which is nice. So you're not, futzing around trying to find a button. It also has a inline mute, which doesn't have a colored indicator. That's an interesting thing for me. Wish it had a colored indicator there, but it's just a slide up and down. So it's got a hardware mute, which is kind of nice to have. Now, if you put it on like I'm doing right here, It's adjustable down, so you can kind of see how it looks on me. But you notice there's very little padding in there. There's that green padding. It is super light. So would I use this for multi-hour gaming session? Probably not. So this would be great for kids, probably somebody with a smaller head. My head size, medium, large. My wife would say a lot larger. But, it is not going to get much bigger than that. These things are $24.95, less than $25, and you get an analog set of headphones. If your cell phone is old enough to have one of these, or maybe like I have back here, an adapter for maybe iPhone with Lightning or a USB-C adapter, you could use this with a mobile device or something else if you're playing mobile games. A lot of iPads, I've got a couple iPads, still have this audio connector, so that's nice to have. And you're not taking up your charging port. So that is from Turtle Beach. But the big question is, how do they sound? You can hear what I sound like. And Ben is checking in. He's over on the looks like YouTube side today. Ben, checking in on that. It's always great to see you live. Always great to see you too, Ben. And we are going to actually pull up something cool. I have video samples of each one of these that I've created for you. So just looking for my Turtle Beaches here.
Hey, it's
so
John the Net Guy. Today we're taking a look at the Turtle Beach Recon 50Xs. Now, they're a very simple to use, simple to set up analog pair of headphones. They got a cable going to each side of the headphones, so if you got a beard, that might get in the way. They have a microphone with a dust cover there and an adjustable top with not a ton of adjustment and just a hard plastic, very light rubber cover at the top there. So not a ton of creature comforts compared to some more advanced headphones, but this is what you're getting with the Turtle Beach, and hopefully they sound pretty good.
There we go. Hopefully I can figure out how to do this quickly, but I'm going to do that, and I'm going to swap to me. Sorry, guys. I'm just making sure I do this right. I got a touch screen because it's really easy to touch, and it decides that it's going to take its time. So let me see here. I'm going to refresh. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add a scene. Camera. There we go. Now I can go back. So overall, what's your guys' opinion on that? Sounds pretty good. Blind Tech says the mic is bassy. I did think that had a lot of bass in this mic for a $25 headset, but he follows it up with, sounds pretty good. I thought so too. I thought it was a decent sounding for $25. So that's from Turtle Beach. That's their Recon headset. Now, not to be outdone, that same night or day when I was going up there, I'll kid you not, I grabbed a second one because I didn't know if the Turtle Beaches were going to sound good. And, I'll tell you one thing I ran into with them, because they're an analog headset, they actually had some noise from the various electrical on my laptop, which wasn't great. So I went to a backup set. Now, this one is from Logitech H390. We're going to do a quick unbox here. Green's also checking in, says, yes, the low frequency, strong low frequency. And my voice, I don't think I sound deep voiced, but, some people say I do. And yeah, it definitely picks up that. The other thing is a lot of these headsets, you'll sound completely different, and people will get used to a microphone or used to that team chat that you've got going on. They get used to your voice on it, and it's very weird when you change up mics. So this says it's a noise canceling microphone from Logitech. You can see what it is. It's fairly basic and fairly cheap construction. So PU leather here. But again, we're hitting that $25 price point. So they got to make some concessions. It only can be worn on the left side. This is more of a business one. It doesn't look like you're wearing your kid's gaming headset. So if you're looking for something for business, we're kind of headed that direction. So this one, they do have a little flex in the ear cups for cushion, but they're not very large. This one, again, very small ear cups. There is more padding up top. And it does not expand a ton, but it does expand more than the Turtle Beaches. So give you guys a view on the side of what that looks like. So I've got a little bit of room if I needed it. So they will fit an adult size and potentially a very large head here. Only drawback, only USB-A. Like, what were these people thinking? This is one of the latest, the H390, and it's still only USB-A. So if you do, make sure you pick up an adapter to USB Type-C so you can join this Century and then connect those up and they'll work just fine. So it is powered by your PC. It does have a little control. It's a digital mute with a digital volume control, whereas the other one was analog. And wouldn't you know it, I actually also created a video for this one. So let me pull those up. And this is
Hey,
for
it's
the
John the Net Guy. Today we're taking a look at the Logitech computer headset. This is the H390. I'm wearing it right now, and that's what you're hearing me on.
I'm still down here.
Low price doesn't mean no features. It has a with a blinking red indicator, as well as volume controls to increase and reduce the headphone volume. It is a single-sided, so it's only going to have a boom mic on the left side. You can't flip it all the way over. You can't turn these around. So make sure you're okay with having your mic on the left side all the time. It is biaural, meaning it's going to have both ears covered, and that may or may not suit you. It looks pretty good for business. I don't know if I'd wear it all day long, but the headset cushion is bigger than some, not as thick as some of the other ones out there, but hopefully it sounds pretty good. Hey, it's John the Net Guy. Today we're taking a look at the Turtle Beach Recon 50Xs. Now, Hey, it's John the Net Guy. Today we're taking a look at the Logitech computer headset. This is the H390. I'm wearing it right now, and that's what you're hearing me on.
I'm gonna have to get better at switching off on those. They've updated their interface. Well, you can see I love this because who needs friends when you got people like this? Logitech headset sounds like from Indian tech support. You know, the audio is definitely a little bit crispier. BC's coming in and tells us, use those at my last job. They were decent to okay, but does give higher tones than normal. So if you want to sound a little bit deeper, Turtle Beach is kind of winning. If you want to sound a little bit more tinny, sounds like you can go with the Logitech. So not bad. I'm glad we're getting some experiences here on these. The next one is going to be pretty cool. And this is one of my favorites. We're bumping up in price though. We're almost $40, and I'll tell you, it's worth every penny. Now this is from Plantronics, and I'll show you. This is their Blackwire headset, which is a kind of a misnomer because it's a bright red wire. Now they do have a USB-C version. This just happens to be my personal one. So you will need an adapter if you grab this USB-A one and you don't have one of those ports. Does have full digital controls here, but a bright red wire, ironically, on the Blackwire model from Plantronics. It is a single-sided, but they also make a dual side if that's what you like. I like to have one ear open. You'll notice that the ear cup on this one is not PU leather. It's just foam. And I use this probably 4 to 6 hours per day in my job. So it's molded to my ear. I've never had any sort of comfort problems with it. Works incredibly well. So as far as fit, for me, very nice fitting. It fits around the head. This side is held on here. Doesn't get in the way. That's a really cool thing that I like about it. I can also still hear what's going on in the room. I can hear the kids crashing around upstairs, whatever's going on, which is kind of nice. And then I can control the mute and the on off and hang up even right from the headset, which is pretty slick. So from Plantronics, which is known to be one of the best, I'm going to see what I can do about adding a scene here. I'm going to add some media so that I can come back to this. I'm going to add a video, and it is going to be the Plantronics.
Hey, it's John the Net Guy. Today we're looking at the Plantronics Blackwire C3210 monoaural headset. Now, what's interesting is they call it the Blackwire, but it has this bright red cable. It has the ability to mute, change volume, hang up, and answer right from this cable. Good audio quality. I use this one every single day, multiple hours a day in my remote job, and it is also ambidextrous, because technically you can flip it over and use it on whichever ear is best. Now I use it on my left side because I had a lot of hearing loss in that ear when I was a kid. You know, when the parents say turn your music down, they actually mean it. But overall, a good sounding headset, and of all the ones I've tested, this is the one that I daily drive. So from Plantronics, this is John the Net Guy.
Now, isn't that funny? I can't actually hear what's going on in the scene. So you guys are hearing me, and I have to kind of look at the slider to know when it's done. But hopefully that sounded really good. Those ones, I would say, have a very active voice. They're very bright, but it also contains the bass. So you're getting both sides of the benefits on that microphone. That was really bassy, as they said. Really bassy. So it does give my voice definitely not like a radio announcer, but that's where a lot of people say, hey, your voice is very bassy. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. But they sound really, really good. The speaker in them is also really good for hearing other people, and the adjustable volume is really nice to have. So that's one of my favorites. That's from Plantronics. Now, the next one, we'll do a quick unbox of this, but I tell you, I should almost show you the demo first, and then we'll do an unbox. This one is from Shocks. It's the OpenComm 2. This is a Bluetooth, the highest cost, but everybody knows if you were down at PDX Land, I wear these all the time. I love it because they can be used for work, they can be used for music, they can be used for travel, they can be used for tons of stuff. Now, I didn't get a chance to cut the two videos together, but I want to give you a sample of the before and after. This is going to get a little weird because I'm going to play first for you a sample in my truck that was before I used these. So it's just the audio from my iPhone 6 Pro Max running. Now, interestingly enough, the iPhone 16, or sorry, iPhone 16, I should have said, Pro Max has really good audio. So it's going to do noise cancellation built in. So I'm going to do the before, and then we're going to switch over to the after. It's a little bit of a longer clip, but I want you to hear the very big difference in audio. You will not believe how quiet this is. And I'm in a diesel truck driving down the road. I've done this demo on a freeway before. It's pretty wild. So here we go, is the audio before.
Hey, it's John the Net Guy, and I'm taking a look at what the audio sounds like in my truck here doing 30 miles an hour. This is the native audio out of the phone here, not through any of the truck's Bluetooth systems. I'll even roll down the window here so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. Bus going by, a few other cars. Again, I'm doing 30 miles an hour, and that's the background noise you get.
There we go. That wasn't awkward at all, but that was the audio before, so you could hear what it sounded like. Let me show you the after real fast, because you are going to be amazed at the difference with the OpenComm. So here we go.
And now I'm using the OpenComm 2s by Shocks. Used to be the Aftershocks company. What I love about these is the high degree of noise cancellation. Again, I'm doing 30 miles an hour here. I can roll down my window, and you really don't hear anything. That's the beauty of this, is you literally have that noise cancellation. I use these on my boat, so if I'm driving my boat, I can literally hear. Now, there's a couple places that they don't work well on, which is airplanes, for one. Just going up, there's a ton of noise around. These do not close off your ear canal, so you can actually still hear all the cars around you. You can hear the conversation in the vehicle. I think they work great. Sometimes people are turned off by the boom that's on these, so they do actually have the open runs that don't have this. This is the OpenComm 2 model. Now, you can tell the difference between the OpenComm 2 and the 1 because the 2 is on the right side here. The boom on the 1 is on the left side. Both excellent noise canceling microphones that you should check out. You can use them on airplanes, but make sure you carry a set of earplugs like I do in my bag, and you can plug those earplugs in, and then you can use them. Because they don't actually send audio through their bone conduction through your ear canal like a regular set of headphones, less chance of people hearing your conversation that's going on. There's still a little bit of that, so they can't hear over that, and the less irritation on your ears because they're not inside your ear canal. So if people have trouble using earplugs or earbuds that you wear inside of your ear, this one works really well without closing that. Now, one other thing I always forget, I tend to put this up out of the way when I'm going places, but you can see the noise canceling is so good that it literally prevents that. So there you go. This has been John the Net Guy, and these are the OpenComm 2s by Shocks.
So there you go. I tried to be as quiet as I could so you could hear the audio difference. It is absolutely outstanding where you go from, hearing background noise, hearing cars going by, to literally quiet. Now, I'll tell you, the OpenComm 1s, I had the original version of them, were incredibly good. I was using it with an aftermarket charger, and I must have done something, put it on wrong, because it had an issue. I reached out to them. They have a 2-year full replacement warranty. They didn't even want the old set back, and they sent me this one. So this isn't a sponsored review, but they sent me the OpenCom 2s, and the best just got better. We're going to do a quick unbox so I can get them out of here so I can show you what they look like, and I'll talk about the key features. So inside the box, real quick, they actually come with what looks like a really nice case, and for the price, I would expect that. So again, we'll open them up here. This is my personal set. They do come with a charger that's hidden under there usually. Looks like this. Now the charger is magnetic, and it reaches to the back of the unit here, and you can technically only put it on one way, but it snaps on like that. Now it is USB-A still on the charger, so you have to have one of those ports around, but you're not going to rip anything out. These are sweat proof, waterproof, everything proof. I wished they had a USB Type-C or some sort of wireless charging interface. Would be really cool. I understand they are super duper light, and they've tried to make them fit that really, really light aesthetic, and that required a magnetic charger. The one advantage here is they've added a physical mute button to the boom stock on here, which goes back and forth really easily here. Now, I'll wear them. When I put them on, man, I'm telling you, these things are like second skin to me. You can't really see them up front, especially when I put the boom away. So I can walk around like this at a grocery store or something, and I still hear everybody around me. I still hear the cars. Our daughter runs on a loop around here all the time, and she wears her full enclosed headsets. And I'm always like, leave one ear cup open so you can hear a car coming or something coming. If you push that boom down, though, you can have a full conversation, and it's still not that distracting having that down. But sometimes if I want people to know I'm not on a call, I'll just flip it up. And as you saw, that noise canceling is so good that when I don't have it down, you can barely even hear me just 6-8 inches away from my mouth. So that is from OpenCom. Very good little setup. Now, it does have an action button, which means you can answer calls and you can hang up calls. You can change tracks, play, pause from there. Has the volume up, volume down, power level, power on, off on this side. So you get used to it. And, once you've dropped $160 for a bone conduction headset, it feels like a lot, but you're going to wonder how you went without it. Being bone conduction, another nice thing is I don't like having things in my ear. I talked about that a little bit ago. And this allows me, in most cases, not to have to use earplugs or anything in my ear canal. It's also more sanitary. If I want to let my wife or somebody else use them, they can use them. And it just rubs on your temples here. So it works pretty well. There's the little charger. I would recommend buying a million more of these chargers, aftermarket or not, because you will want to charge these wherever you go. I love keeping one set in my bag so I can charge on the go. That is from the Shocks company. It used to be called Aftershocks. Now they're called just Shocks. And that is the OpenCom 2s. So I don't know what you're running. Let me know in the chat if you can what kind of headphones, headset you run right now. That'll be really interesting to share. And what you use for your work. Are you a Plantronics person? Do you use a Bluetooth headset or do you use USB? That'd be great to hear. I'm going to put this away and I'm going to grab our next product. Now, this was a sponsored product, so let me give them the full introduction. Should I smile? Something like that. My thumbnail guy is going to be super happy about that because he's always trying to cut a thumbnail out. But yes, this is from Coolpo. Now, Coolpo's been on the show before. They've actually had their camera, their Huddle Pana. They make an owl-like camera, 360 AI tracking, all the cool stuff. This is their Ignite speakerphone for business. They were actually asking me to take a look at this and show it to you if I could, so I said I would. Now, Meeting Flex adapts to any environment with AI noise reduction up to 15,000 noise sources in speaker and microphone. So it's able to drop some pretty cool technology here. If I open this up, now I've had this out before. This is the manual for it and how it works. It has a 5-volt, 500 milliamp battery. It says it's going to last 20 hours. So you can use this. It's a little dark in this picture. It's a little lighter here in person. It's got a nice cloth cover. You can use this with your cell phone, with your laptop, any sort of meeting device. You don't have to have it plugged in, but if you want to have a wired interface, and which is how I did the demo, it uses it right here. And so there's the little wired interface. It is, again, USB-A. Can't get away from that. But if you have USB-C cables, you can plug in USB-C here. So very light, very easy to set up. Let me go ahead and turn it on. And then we're going to talk about how to set it up and what we would do here. Now,
battery 90%.
So 90% battery. You can see the light on underneath here. Green, even though it doesn't show up great on that one. See the nice green color? If I hit mute, turns red. You have a visible mute indicator finally. It's so funny because people will sell a visible mute button, but this one has it built in. Volume up, volume down for the speaker, so you can do that. And then it has a built-in dual microphones on that side. You see those little dots? Those are mics. No mics on that side. 2 mics on that side, and a USB connector there. So 4 microphones at least that I can see on the outside of this is going to give it that spatial audio. Just some basic guides about how to hook it up and set it up. Pretty straightforward and simple. And I actually do have a demo of this one to show you. Now the sound, it took a little bit to get started. When I was using it, I noticed some crackling in the beginning, but it went away pretty quickly.
Hey, it's John the Net Guy. Today I'm taking a look at the Ignite speakerphone from the Coolpo company. Now, it has several cool features, including noise canceling, which I have turned on right now. And that's the feature up here with this red button. It has multiple microphones to capture sounds in the entire room. It also has a plus and a minus here for your volume control and a mute button dedicated in the middle. When you hit that mute button, it has a red indicator light that changes, giving you a visual indication of your mute status.
So let me know what you think about how that sounded. This room is always really tough to do audio testing in, mainly because it's a square. Now I've got some cloth over here. You can see I'm actually trying to improve the layout of the room for audio. But there's other things that you could do. You can do blankets, you can do sound panels and whatnot. But this AI noise canceling, pretty interesting capability. Now this button here, right here, the logo there.
Meeting flex on for microphone.
So that means that the AI is on.
Meeting flex on for speaker.
That means that the AI is on for the speaker, which I think it filters outgoing sound, which is kind of an interesting idea. Concept I never heard of.
Meeting flex off. Bluetooth pairing.
Now it's doing the Bluetooth pairing capability. So you could, again, pair this to either a phone that has Bluetooth, a computer if you're doing Zoom calls, things like that, or you could compare it to anything else, tablets, desktops, anything that has Bluetooth capability. Nope, nothing there. And then the Bluetooth off. There we go. So that is from Coolpo. That is their Ignite speakerphone. So I'm interested to see if this is something that you would use. And I haven't done a giveaway in a while. Maybe I'll have to do a giveaway one of these days. Maybe I'll throw this in there if you're interested. Let's take a look at some of the answers. I asked for a few questions about what people are using. Ben says Pixel earbuds. I have not been using the Google products. That would be interesting to see how you like those. I use the Sony WH-720N wireless noise canceling headphones for daily use. There you go. If that works for you, that's great. Blind Tech says, I use my AirPod Pros since I got one for Christmas. Cheater. Oh, AirPod Pros 2 with Type-C. I got a set for my wife. I don't even have the AirPod Pros yet. That's how bad it is. So BC is helping us out, says, sounds good, would be best for conference rooms or such. And that's the funny thing is if you're like me and you're able to use a headset, that's going to give you your best audio. Let's just be honest, if you're an inch away. But the idea that you can put something out, we have an annual meeting at our church tomorrow night. We have one of these, but it has to be plugged in and wired all the time. This is an interesting idea to throw this in the middle of the room where we can pick up that ambient audio, especially for trustee meetings or other stuff. This would be a really cool feature or thing to have, especially with that Bluetooth control. It does come with that USB cable. And you know what I always do, and I didn't do on this one? I don't want to jinx us here, but I always do the cable size test. So this one's coming in, that's 6 feet, just about 9 feet. So about 3 meter cable here. So you got 9 feet of cable from whatever computer or interface that you're plugging into to the speakerphone. So always good to see that. You may even need an extension or more. This does charge up while it's plugged in, and the Bluetooth, like it says there, should last for 20 hours. So I want to thank the Coolpo company for letting me show you that one. I'm actually going to bring up one of the pages that I didn't show yet, and I normally show it earlier in the show, which is where can you see all this stuff? Well, that URL that's scrolling along the bottom, it's not just for looks. It's actually my Amazon store. So I make a single digit commission, low single digits on these items that if you purchase them right now or later through my links, which is really cool. They have changed the layout here and you can't see my thumbnails normally now. So I usually have really nice thumbnails and they changed the layout yet again. But if you come down here to the ideal list, it's got this weird looking camera on it. You're going to see all of the products today. We can actually pull up the Cool Post speakerphone, 4.3 stars on 41 ratings. Again, it is a newer product. You know, once you get a few hundred ratings, it's usually more telling here. But overall, seems pretty good. There's some of the pictures that I wasn't able to show you before. So you can see, yeah, definitely in a conferencing type environment. There's the AI noise canceling. Maybe I'll do some really fun tests with this. Take it to like a Starbucks. That would be a really cool challenge I could do with this thing and see how well it does in its noise canceling and if I can use it hands-free. But that would be really cool. So yeah, again, if you're coming to check out the show, it's the URL that's scrolling along the bottom and you can see all of those down here. The next product, you've actually, believe it or not, been seeing me on the whole time, but you haven't seen me yet, which is right over here. I'm waving at it right now. Let me put a couple things away and I'll tell you what that product over there is. I'm actually going to turn off this monitor because we don't need it. I'm going to turn that monitor off behind me. You're actually looking at me on our next product already, believe it or not. I need to get their box up here to show you what this one is. This is a PTZ camera. This is from the IUZ company. Now, this camera right here, about $2,000. $2,000 with the lens and all the other stuff that goes with it. This camera over here, you can get as low as $300 if you're buying their conference room solution. If you need NDI or other capabilities, you can get that as well. I'm trying to see if I can do the zoom here. I can zoom in. This is a 20x zoom. So here, let's see how much 20x is. I'm going to zoom into the beard. Don't get scared. This is going to be how much a 20x optical zoom gives you. Hopefully no dander. You can see the individual hairs in my beard here. That is 20x. And an amazing capability here. This is a PTZ camera. That was the zoom slow. I can zoom it at a faster rate there. So I'm zooming out at a faster rate. It has full capability to be handled by this remote. Also supports NDI, which is another technology that's really popular in streaming, in church productions, things like that. Event productions. NDI can go over, internet, so it's got a ton of capability there. It has SDI capability, HDMI, USB, all the connectivity you could ever want. But this remote is kind of cool. If you're a small startup and you're doing video production, watch this. I'm going to hit one button. And I'm going to walk around my little studio here. This camera has AI tracking. So it's tracking me with that. It's doing the auto exposure. Everything's working out. You can set the framing or whatever, and you can actually even take a quick peek at what the tracking sees. So you can see what it's actually looking at. Now that does go over the broadcast. So you would only use that like if you're testing out or setting up. But this is kind of cool. If I started my show one day using this camera and I could go through the settings and tune it in just right, you may not actually know that I wasn't using my $2,000 Canon camera rig, which is kind of cool. It's got a full featured menu here. I can go through exposure, control all the exposure just like a camera. I can say bright, I can say manual, I can say specific levels. I'm going to go here, and even on the automatic, you have other things. Like I can say automatic, but make it a little bit darker. That's kind of the exposure I normally like. So this is a really cool capability here. So I can see the IR blaster blinking, you guys are saying, which is true. So yeah, you can see the IR through it. So it's got an IR filter, but apparently not that strong enough to cut this out. So overall, very good camera. I'm going to go ahead and do one thing, which is to show you the audio quality. Now, normally I do this and I don't do it live. I'm going to go to about here, and I'm going to pull up a audio test pattern, or not audio test, a video test pattern I use. And I'm going to see if you guys can see how amazingly clear this thing can get. Now, normally I wouldn't control it with just the remote. That's what I had. And it took me a little bit longer to get the show started today because I was trying to use my PTZ. I'll tell you about it here in a second. Again, I'm using the slow zoom, but you can see here. And now I might actually increase the brightness because I did turn the exposure down for what I would do, because I would normally come back in post and I would clean up my video, make it a little bit brighter. But you can see the quality of this because you're using an actual optical zoom lens. So people still use PTZ cameras with super high speed zoom like that. The other things that you can do on this, if you don't want to use the AI tracking, let's say I take that out of the way, I bring this up, and let's say this looks like a good spot for me. I can actually say preset 1. Now it says set 1 okay. Then I can come over here, let's say, and I can do preset 2. Preset 2 okay. Let's see if I can do something else. Let me go ahead and take this camera test here. Now it's not going with me because I turned the AI off, darn. But again, really fast exposure corrections you can see here. I did have an opportunity to take this to our church and use it with our full equipment, and it kept up with every other brand's camera. So now I'm going to do preset 3. Well, watch this. What if I want to hit 1 again? So now I'm doing a production. I can hit 1. I can go to the speaker here. I can hit 2, and I can have it go here. And then, for some reason, maybe my production needs to go back to that pianist or whatever. I can hit 3, and it's automatically going to go to exactly where it needs to go. I can hit 1 and go back to it. Now, if you didn't have a full joystick or other capability, you could absolutely control it with that. This is the other option here. So this is from PTZ Optics, which is actually a competitor of theirs. This is an older version. We use a newer one from Avcans at our church, but this is a joystick capability. It has serial capability, but now it's all done over digital with the Ethernet. So this one allows us to use those presets I was telling you about, set the presets, change exposure, change focus, do all that. You can run your own production with one of these and a couple PTZ cameras. So very nice to have. I wasn't able to connect it up all because that's an older one and I didn't have all the settings right. But this one does support PTZ control. I'm going to show you a couple other really cool things for it. And then we'll go do one other really cool test. And then I'll show you the physicals of that camera. So if you have a church, if they are looking for something to do video streaming with, I'm going to bring my laptop out. This is going to be kind of cool. I want to show you that this can send video over NDI. And actually to do that, I need to give it a network connection. I'm coming over here to steal it because I had it on a tripod connection. Hi, everybody. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it over here. I'm going to give it a connection. Sorry, you're seeing all this. I should have switched to another camera. And see what's under my desk for a little bit. The disaster that is under my desk. And I'm going to zoom up. Here we go. So you can see me here. I'm going to go ahead and plug my laptop in, and I'm going to connect over NDI to this. And you're going to see what NDI technology can do now. NDI is getting pretty amazing. So give me 1 second to get everything the way it needs to be here. I was just not set up for this when we started the show. And I will get NDI pulled up here so you can still hopefully see me there. I'm going to tell it displays, mirror displays. How do I set that up? So display settings, arrange, and then I need to tell it to mirror. Sorry, you guys, I got to take this one step. Use as mirror for HDMI output. Okay, so now I'll be able to show you everything that's going on. To do NDI, let me go ahead and pull up the bench. There's my computer. Hopefully you can see that. I'll be here in the corner. This is the NDI tools. I'm going to do the video monitor. Now, what's interesting about NDI video monitor that just popped up here is if I go up to NDI HD camera, boom, I've got my camera over there. Now my camera is sitting down there, right? But this is an actual NDI feed. I can make it bigger if I want. Let's see, enter full screen, move to my iPad, tile left. Let's do enter full screen. So there you go, very little delay. So if I move my hand, this is going digitally, this signal. The other signal is wired HDMI. So they're almost identical. NDI is super low latency video. There's other cool things I can do with this camera though. Now that I have this, remember that PTZ control? I can be on a computer and I can actually call, remember, location 2, location 1, which technically is there, or I can PTZ up here. I can store new locations. I can change focus, so it's still trying to focus on the foreground. There we go. So it's focusing on me now. So you can see how cool this interface is. Now, got a question. Is there a web UI for it as well coming from BC? Absolutely, BC. Let me show you what that is. Chrome. And let's get that up here. And then I'm going to do 192.168.99.76. And hopefully it's got the same IP, which it does. So you can log into this. I cannot give you username and password, but it's in the documentation. And it's a very easy one. Now we're pulling it up. There's a little bit more delay here. So you can see how my hands don't move at the same time. But this is using, they have RTSP capability. They have those same controls for panning over their web interface. You can go to those AI settings. Remember, we talked about that. So AI tracking on. So hopefully it can track me. There it goes. Just took it a second to figure out who I am. So if you want to have basically an automatic production team here. Oh, I love this. You can actually switch the person that's being tracked. You can show the auto tracking. So you can actually pick different people to track. That's pretty awesome. I like that. And then I can turn the AI completely off here. So this, again, is from the Iuzi company. Let me go show you the back of it because I think that that is going to blow you guys' mind away when you see the amount of I/O that this thing has. Now, it's still plugged in, so I'm trying not to drop it or break anything. It comes with the remote capability. It's going to come with apparently a license for NDI because it does support NDI. Now, I don't know if that's the HX3. It looks like the standard NDI. Look at the I/O on the back there. You're going to have power. You don't need power because it is PoE if you wanted to use that with a PoE switch. SDI, so you've got your permanent connection. That's your BNC style connector, but that we use with an HDI to SDI converter, and you can run this hundreds and hundreds of yards. You've got your HDMI, which we run one on a 50-foot HDMI cord, so that's possible. USB 3 there. And you even have for the controls, the old RS-232 interface. And then you have the RS-485 if you wanted the PTZ that way. You don't technically need to use that capability. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this off. It does have a 1/4-20 mount. It comes with a wall mount, and it does have upside down capability. So there's the view underneath it. It is 1080p 60. So, when you get 1080p 60 video and you have 1080p 60 video, it looks completely different. It's so smooth. And that's the maximum that my little switcher here supports anyway. So let's go take a look at what it looks like on Amazon, just so you can see a couple of the options here. It is not a cheap device, I'll tell you that, but having gone through multiple Canon cameras and other cameras, we love our PTZ. So you can get it down $60 with a coupon right now. If you wanted to go to something slightly less capable, but more, affordable, so it doesn't have the NDI streaming built in because that's a separate license that they have to pay for. 12x optical still gives you that 1080p 60 remote capability, networking, looks like Visca IP interface, looks like you've got all those. Does it have they got rid of the network? Sorry, I don't want to give you that. So if you want to go USB or HDMI here, you can do that with this one. Let's go up here one more higher. So this one's a 4K PTZ, multi-interface here, still USB. This is a standard 20X, and there's the multi-interface on that one. I'm looking to see when you get the full video interfaces. So here, this is the one where things get interesting. So you do have audio in and out, you have the AI tracking, you have all of that on the highest end one. Now you can actually stream directly from this camera over here, which is kind of cool. So if maybe you are a small production, you don't even have a computer and you just want to have something that you hit and get a stream going, has some audio interfaces, you can do that as well. So I want to thank those guys over at the iUzi company for letting me show you this technology. I'm excited to do the full video on this one. Normally I don't do a ton of these type of products online here. There are other products. Let me grab one actually over here that compete with this, and I've shown you them before, and you've seen them on my channel. This one, for example, is a competitive product, let's say. So this is from OBSBot. This is a 4K gimbal stabilized PTZ camera, but the zoom is completely analog here. So it doesn't have, completely digital, not analog. So it doesn't actually have any sort of zoom range, whereas this one, you saw with that 20x zoom, the capability you have there, and it's still running here. I'll show you right now. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. Do I have the right side? That's the one. So that's what I see on my side when I'm looking around my studio. So I'm still holding on to this thing. It's still running. But these are made for production. They're very quick to start, very quick to stop. So that's from off. Let's see if this one can do it in under 30 seconds, usually for production gear. It's on standby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, it's funny, it's doing its thing, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so it's a little more than 30 seconds to start up. We're probably in the 1 minute range, but it's doing the full gimbal calibration here. And then let's see if it will pop up on the HDMI as expected. I don't know if we've got it. There it goes. And it's getting the autofocus range test. So about a minute to do a full startup if you had to reboot this thing. And then you can go to those controls. Now, it is going to remember where it was. So I should be able to hit 2, and it'll actually go to what it thought was position 2. So it has a permanent memory in there that you can adjust to be able to change on there. So pretty cool little setup. Hopefully you guys like that. If you're into more of that technology, let me know, and I'll be happy to do that. Oh, here we go. So actually, man, now I'm jealous. Blind Text checking in says, forgot one of my messages, John. I also said my second earbud is wired, which I use with my PC. It's the 7 Hertz X Critical 02 in-ear monitors. I have not done that, man. You're the audio expert here, so you're gonna have to tell me more about those. That would be really cool. And then BC says, POE, beat me to my question. There you go. So definitely a cool product. I don't know how many of you guys may actually do any sort of video production work, but a very cool feature to have. And it has all of those capabilities in an affordable, relatively, again, for what you're paying, package. This has been John the Net Guy. I want to thank you guys all for showing up today. I'm going to say bye to the Amazon folks. Bye, Amazon folks. And I will see you guys next Tuesday, hopefully, knock on wood. If nobody gets sick, everything's working. I'll have a whole lineup of new products for you. I want to thank you again for joining the stream, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. See you, everybody.